Das Kapital, Kritik der politischen Ökonomie, Capital, Critique of Political Economy, is a monumental work written by Karl Marx, published in 1867. It is one of the most influential texts in the fields of economics, political theory, and social science. Spanning over 2,000 pages, Das Kapital is divided into several sections that offer a comprehensive critique of the capitalist system, exploring its economic, social, and historical dimensions. This detailed explanation will delve into the key concepts and themes presented in Das Kapital. Introduction. Das Kapital is divided into 3 volumes, with the first volume being the most well-known and widely studied. This volume focuses on the process of capitalist production and is organized into chapters that progressively build upon each other. Marx's approach is dialectical and historical materialist, seeking to uncover the underlying laws and contradictions of capitalist society. Chapter 1, Commodities and Money. The work begins with an exploration of commodities and their exchange. Marx introduces the concept of a commodity as a good produced for exchange rather than direct use. He delves into the dual nature of commodities, having both use value, the utility they offer, and exchange value, their value in relation to other commodities. This introduces the notion of the labor theory of value, where the value of a commodity is determined by the socially necessary labor time required to produce it. Chapter 2, The Process of Exchange. Marx proceeds to analyze the process of exchange, highlighting how exchange values are quantitatively determined through comparison and market interactions. He introduces the concept of money as a universal equivalent that facilitates exchange. Money represents abstract social labor and is a key element in the development of the capitalist system. Chapter 3, Money as a Measure of Value. Here, Marx delves deeper into the role of money as a measure of value and the significance of price fluctuations. He discusses how money functions as a measure of socially necessary labor time, connecting the labor theory of value to market prices. Chapter 4, Capitalist Production. Marx introduces the concept of capital and capitalist production. He explains that capital is money used to acquire commodities for the purpose of producing more value. The production process involves the exploitation of labor to create surplus value, which is the source of profit for capitalists. Chapter 5, The Production of Absolute Surplus Value. Marx examines how capitalists increase profits by extending the length of the working day. He discusses the relationship between wages, labor time, and the creation of surplus value. The lengthening of the working day is a method through which capitalists extract surplus labor from workers. Chapter 6, The Production of Relative Surplus Value. Marx moves on to the concept of relative surplus value, which is achieved by increasing productivity through technological advancements. He explores how capital invests in machinery and technology to reduce the necessary labor time per commodity and, consequently, increase profits. Chapter 7, The Process of Capitalist Circulation. This chapter explores the circulation of capital, including its stages of production, circulation, and realization. Marx examines the different forms of capital, such as money capital and commodity capital, and how they interact in the market. Chapter 8, Capital's Historical Role. Marx delves into the historical emergence of capital and its role in transforming society. He discusses the transition from feudalism to capitalism, emphasizing the expropriation of the means of production and the emergence of the proletariat as the working class. Chapter 9, Capital's Contradictions and Crises. Here, Marx explores the inherent contradictions of the capitalist system, including the tendency for the rate of profit to fall over time. He discusses economic crises as a result of overproduction and the contradictions between production and consumption. Chapter 10, Capital and the State. Marx examines the relationship between capital and the state, arguing that the state serves the interests of the ruling capitalist class. He discusses how the state maintains the conditions for the reproduction of capital and enforces capitalist property relations. Chapter 11, Capital and the Working Day. Marx further examines the working day and its regulation by the state. He critiques the exploitation of workers and discusses the struggles for shorter working hours as a form of resistance. Chapter 12, The Role of Machinery and Technology. In this chapter, Marx delves into the role of machinery and technology in capitalist production. He analyzes how machinery can increase productivity but also lead to unemployment and social disruption. Chapter 13. Capitalist Accumulation. Marx discusses the process of capital accumulation, where surplus value is reinvested to expand production. He examines the centralization and concentration of capital, leading to the emergence of monopolies and large corporations. Chapter 14. Primitive Accumulation. This chapter delves into the historical processes that led to the establishment of capitalism. Marx discusses the expropriation of land, resources, and labor power from pre-capitalist societies, forming the foundation of capitalist accumulation. Chapter 15. Capital and Alienation. Marx examines the alienation of labor under capitalism, where workers are disconnected from the products of their labor. He discusses how capitalist production estranges individuals from their own creative potential. Chapter 16. Capital and Ideology. Marx explores the ideological aspects of capitalist society, focusing on how economic relations are masked by appearances and illusions. He discusses the fetishism of commodities, where social relations appear as relations between things. Chapter 17. Historical Materialism. Marx concludes the volume by summarizing the key concepts and themes discussed throughout Das Kapital. He reiterates the materialist perspective and historical analysis that underpin his critique of political economy. Impact on today's world. The ideas presented in Das Kapital continue to influence various fields and discussions in today's world. Its critique of capitalism, emphasis on labor value, analysis of exploitation, and exploration of economic crises remain relevant to ongoing debates about income inequality, workers' rights, globalization, and the role of the state in the economy. The concepts of surplus value, alienation, and historical materialism have informed discussions in sociology, political science, and economics.